Let me talk to you for a minute about trusts and what trusts can do, what trusts can't do, the different types of trust. Probably the most common type of trust that you've heard about is a typical living trust or a revocable trust. And a reason that people create revocable trusts are manifold. One would be to avoid the probate process when you pass away, which works as long as the assets are held in the name of the trust. Sometimes people create trusts and don't fund them, and that objective isn't met. But to the extent the assets are held in the trust can avoid probate. There can be some great tax planning available with the trusts. But the tax laws have changed recently, and so the need for trusts to take advantage of the tax planning opportunities is much reduced now. And as a matter of fact, sometimes some of the old terms of the trust under the old laws, before 2010, for instance, might need to be updated and reviewed because they may be more cumbersome than you really need. And then another significant advantage of a trust for the benefit of those that will be the beneficiaries after your lifetime are asset protection benefits of trusts. So let me visit with you about that for a minute and the importance and the opportunities that you have with asset protection for trusts. The general rule in the United States is that you cannot create a trust for your own benefit and protect it from your creditors. But you can create a trust for somebody else's benefit and protect it from their creditors. And so in a husband-wife situation, if one spouse passes away, the other one's a survivor, you can have the trust coming from the first spouse to pass away set up for the benefit of the survivor that would be protected from the survivor's creditors, where the other portion that the survivor already owned would not be protected. And then to the extent you're leaving trust assets for the benefit of children or other descendants or other beneficiaries, you can create a trust for them that would be protected from their creditors that they couldn't create for themselves. So I often tell people if I were to inherit money, my preference would be to inherit it in a trust, especially if I could be a trustee of that trust, because it has tax planning benefits and asset protection benefits that I can't create for myself. And so in looking at your estate plan, you may want to take a look at what are some of these asset protection benefits that are available. And why is it even important? They're responsible citizens are not likely to have creditors, you may say, and in all likelihood that's probably true. But even the most responsible people sometimes end up with creditors. How's that? Well, one example may be you're in a car accident. It's deemed to be your fault, and unfortunately somebody was killed or seriously injured, or really unfortunately multiple people. It wouldn't take long for those medical damages or for wrongful death actions to far exceed any insurance that you have. So anything in your own name, excluding a few exempt assets like your home and certain retirement plans, or up to $100,000 equity in a home, those creditors could have access to. But including an inheritance that they received, if they received it outright, those creditors could reach in and take that inheritance. But if it's in a trust that the person set up for the benefit of the beneficiary, those creditors can't take that money. It's held for the benefit of that beneficiary and that beneficiary's descendants, even if the beneficiary is a trustee. And so there's some significant asset protection benefits that you can create for your beneficiaries, for your descendants, that they can't create for themselves. You may want to think about that in doing your estate plan.